You now tuned in to 13scienceastrology.com. I'm going to call this episode The Life of a Nine Teacher. The life of someone that they seem to think that the number 9 is innocent. I want to kind of point that out. They seem to think that the number 9 is innocent, but the number 9 is essentially the eye that governs a particular group called everybody. So there's a group called everybody that governs energy. This group governs what's called collective energy. There's a group of people that if all the lights went out, if all the power went out, and things of that nature, this group of people will be the only energy source. Like if we lost all power in the whole world, period, like the ability to have energy in this world, there's a group of people on an esoteric level that actually represent the energy source or the energy grid for this particular dispensation of time that we're in. And the 9 teacher represents the eye for all of that whole group. And 9 is a very peculiar number, an interesting number, because of the fact that it morphs. It takes on the appearance of the number that it's working with. This is what makes 9 so interesting. No matter what you multiply it by or add it to, it's going to morph and take on the image of that number. So people think the 9 is innocent because of this fact that they don't see the 9. It literally blends into another number. It's a shapeshifter. This is why it deceives you. It's almost like a virus in a way because of the fact that it blends into other numbers and morphs and takes on another number, but then at the same time, it's the highest, most potent number, if you believe it or not. The number 9 is the highest number. You can't go any higher than that, no matter how you look at it. So that's why it's like an interesting number, but it's humble though, because it takes on the image, and this is why people think that it's innocent, but actually it's the eye. So it can go into double numbers and begin to offset darker energy. This is what the 9 teacher is for. And I'm saying this because when you are a 9 teacher, one thing, and I'll say one rule about it, I'm gonna give you one secret, I'm gonna shut down. And one secret is this: when you're a 9 teacher, you're charged with investing into what's called the eye, or the first dispensation of time in any project. But when it comes to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you are charged with stepping back and allowing number 2, 3, and 4 to do what they're going to do. So as a 9 teacher, you're only charged with having an eye. And this is why it's so hard for a 9 teacher in relationships and things of that nature, because of the fact that in order for a 9 teacher to have a long-term relationship partner, they would have to decide to be an eye with the 9 teacher, meaning that we're going to show these people a sample. 9 teachers, the king of samples. We're going to give this group a sample, and then we're going to move on. This is how the 9 teacher works into the next project, knowing that that project is still going on that you gave the sample to. Oh yeah, it still exists. It's real. To some people, it's not a sample. So that's what the 9 teacher has to realize. To you, it's a sample as the teacher, but then for the student that you're teaching, it becomes a part of the group. So it's not a sample, it becomes a dispensation of time or an error in time, and you begin to count. This is when you get into what's called a count or a log, going into what really is the Bible is. The Bible is a count, believe it or not, or a log. It's a living count about a biblical, a group of numbers and a codex that if you plug into any scenario will continue to play out over and over again. And the Bible represents a count for that. So as 9 teacher, I'll say this and I'll shut down, you are charged with keeping all of that together, keeping that eye in focus, keeping that eye intact. So a lot of times a 9 teacher is very painful and lonely because you find yourself alone. It's hard to really meet someone. And every time you meet someone, you just hope that that person can be the eye with you, because this is the only way as 9 teacher that you're going to experience love and happiness in this body, outside of having to live in a reality where you live in a spiritual reality with your twin flame, but then you can't really do it physically. And this is why we're suffering and why we're stuck in the dispensation of time, because until the prophet has an avatar or a normal life some kind of way in this matrix, we'll be stuck in the dispensation of time. See, the prophet and the 9 teacher has to have an avatar. The leader has to have a way to settle down in this matrix and still come back up and lead. And once we set that up as a reality in the matrix, Then we'll move into another era of time. We'll move out of what's called third creation and move into what's called fourth creation, which is another creation we have not experienced yet. We're in third creation. Everything happens in threes here. We don't know about the number 4 here. We're stuck in magic here, which is 3. See, 4 is actually real live time, Earth time. See, 3 is magic time on another planet. We're locked into the magic of another planet, and until we move into real time and master number 4, this is where we'll be at. So all of these ideas that I presented, I could do videos talking about a lot of different topics based on this video. So this video will act as a masterpiece moving into new videos I'm going to be dropping. Because what I'm telling you is what I'm experiencing as a non-teacher, getting ready to be challenged with having to normalize, but still teach. So we'll see how that goes. And I'll talk to you about what that means in the future. Because I use my life, again, as a teaching piece. Namaste.